Greetings, welcome to Facts About Everything. I'm your host, James Eakin. Today on Horror Month, we'll be looking at The Exorcist. The scariest thing about this movie is this guy. To which you might be thinking, wait, you mean when she gets an x-ray? It's because of who plays that technician. His name is Paul Bateson. He is a murderer. Not in the movie, in real life. The director cast an actual murderer in The Exorcist. Paul Bateson hunted and killed several gay men in New York, chopped them up into little pieces, and dumped their body parts in the Hudson River. You know what's even weirder than that? The director of this movie, William Friedkin, made a movie about it, called Cruising, with Al Pacino in the lead role. And that is the first fact about the 1973 masterpiece, The Exorcist. Let's dive in. The demon is called Pazuzu. His name isn't mentioned until the sequel. Pazuzu is not a biblical demon. He is of Assyrian and Babylonian mythology. He was the king of demons and would bring famine during dry seasons and locusts during rainy seasons. This was explained more in the sequel. The film spawned a Japanese comic, which looks like the laziest comic I've ever seen. It's like the artist just gave up halfway and just started splicing in pictures from the movie. Adjusted for inflation, this is the most successful R-rated film ever and one of the most successful films of all time. It grossed $440 million. The film was nominated for 10 Oscars, including Best Picture. Linda Blair played Regan. Because the film revolves around possession, she was targeted by religious zealots. She was so scared of being attacked that she had to hire bodyguards for 6 months. Mercedes McCambridge provided the voice of Pazuzu. She swallowed raw eggs and chain smoke to alter her voice for the demon.
Well then, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Damien Karras. And I'm the devil. Now kindly undo these straps.
Mercedes McCambridge and Linda Blair have never met. When Regan vomits on Father Karras, the actor Jason Miller was told that the vomit would land on his chest. However, the director intended the vomit to land on his face so that Miller's reaction would be more genuine. Miller was furious after the scene and stormed off set. The power of Christ compels you is said 14 times. Carrie Fisher nearly played Regan. I am certain there's a Star Wars line that you could say in the context of Exorcist and make perfect sense, but I'm too lazy and tired to do that. If you got a good one, just put it in the comments below. The novel that the film is based on was written by William Peter Blatty. He was unemployed while he was writing the novel. The Pazuzu statue was supposed to be sent to Iraq for the beginning scene. It was accidentally sent to Hong Kong. The studio wanted Jamie Lee Curtis for the lead. Marlon Brando was considered for Father Merrin. Weirdly, he was also considered for the parody version of Father Merrin in Scary Movie 2, but he became ill and was replaced by James Woods. Jack Nicholson and Al Pacino were considered for Karras. Sometimes subliminal shots of Pazuzu will flash on the screen. These shots are actually rejected makeup tests for Regan's possessed form. The Exorcism lasts 9 minutes. The studio was uncertain about the title because they didn't think many people knew what an exorcist was. Alfred Hitchcock and Stanley Kubrick wanted to direct this film. Linda Blair starred in a parody of the film called Repossessed, which starred Leslie Nielsen.
Have no fear, my son. We have the Bible. We have our faith. And as a backup, these beauties.
This is Kane Hodder's favorite film. Hodder is famous for playing Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th series. Ellen Burstyn plays Regan's mother. She suffered a permanent spinal injury from the scene where Regan tosses her to the side. This was the first horror film ever to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. When Pazuzu leaves Regan's body, the sound it makes is of pigs being herded for slaughter. There's a very famous scene cut from this movie of Regan running downstairs upside down in a spider crawl. Although many people thought this looked terrifying, the director thought the film would be more scary if all the paranormal activities occurred in Regan's room. The director of this film said the scariest movie he's ever seen is The Babadook. The Exorcist 2, The Heretic, was released in 1977. Some studio executives attended a preview of the film. Within 10 minutes, audience members were shouting about how terrible the film was. When the audience realized that the executives of the film were in the room, they were chased out of the cinema. And the final fact isn't scary, but it's astounding. Max von Sydow plays Father Merrin. You may recognize him from Minority Report, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Shutter Island, the Three-Eyed Raven in Game of Thrones, and The Seventh Seal. How old do you think he was when he made this film? Go ahead, take a guess. He's 44. He's wearing tons of makeup, but it's so subtle you can't notice. In fact, in some scenes, Max von Sydow is actually wearing more makeup than Regan. Special thanks to these fine people for all their help. Be sure to subscribe to Facts About Everything. Follow me on Twitter for updates on upcoming videos. Check out my Facebook page to let me know what subjects you want me to talk about in the future. Thanks for watching, see you again.